Some moments arrive and rearrange everything you thought you knew about your life. They rarely appear with great fanfare or dramatic warnings. Instead, they slip in during an ordinary afternoon, carrying words that either mend your heart or break it beyond repair. I had run through those words in my head more times than I could count. Still, when I finally stood before her in that warm afternoon light, my own heartbeat drowned out everything I wanted to say. I was absolutely certain I was about to lose the one person who meant more to me than anyone else. Yet nothing could have braced me for what she whispered through her tears. "Why did you wait so long to tell me? Before we go any further, if you believe that kindness and patience and second chances truly matter, please take a moment to like this video and leave your thoughts in the comments. Share this story with someone who might need to hear it, and subscribe to the channel for more emotional tales that linger long after the final word." The afternoon sun streamed through the windows of the small cabin by the lake where our closest friends had gathered for a weekend celebration. Laughter filled the air as people grilled food and posed for pictures while gentle summer breezes moved through the pine branches. Yet despite the joyful scene around me, my mind remained trapped in years of feelings I had never spoken aloud. My name is Rowan, and for nearly 4 years I had quietly loved Mara. She was not merely beautiful, she had this rare gift for making everyone around her feel seen and valued. She never forgot a birthday, she encouraged strangers without hesitation, she helped elderly neighbors without expecting anything in return, and she could take the heaviest day and make it lighter with just her smile. We had become close almost by chance after working side by side at a local community center. Afternoons turned into long conversations about dreams and childhood memories and favorite books over endless cups of coffee. The more time we spent together, the harder it became to ignore what my heart already knew. But fear is a powerful thing. Every time I gathered the courage to tell her how I felt, another voice whispered that losing her friendship would hurt far worse than keeping my feelings hidden. So I convinced myself that silence was the safer choice. Months piled into years. During all that time, I watched opportunity after opportunity quietly drift past. Friends constantly assumed we were already a couple because we understood each other so naturally. We laughed at jokes before they were finished, we noticed when something was bothering the other, and we always seemed to end up sitting beside each other. People would smile knowingly whenever they saw us together, while I forced myself to act as if there was nothing more between us than friendship. Then everything shifted on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon. Mara mentioned casually that she had accepted a job in another city. It was the opportunity she had dreamed about for years, and everyone celebrated with her. I smiled along with the rest, but inside my world felt like it had caved in. She would be leaving in just 3 weeks. Suddenly, every excuse I had ever leaned on vanished. I could either confess everything now or carry regret with me for the rest of my life. Those 3 weeks became the longest days I had ever experienced. Each morning I promised myself that today would be the day. Each evening I came home disappointed in my own hesitation. I rehearsed speeches while driving, while showering, while staring at the ceiling in the middle of the night. None of them ever felt good enough. The day before she was scheduled to leave, our friends arranged one final afternoon gathering at the cabin beside the lake. The weather was bright, children played nearby, birds sang through the trees, and everything seemed painfully beautiful. I knew life would never hand me a more perfect moment. As the afternoon began to fade, Mara stepped away from the group and walked toward the wooden dock that stretched out over the sparkling water. My legs felt impossibly heavy, but somehow I followed her. Every heartbeat pounded inside my chest as if trying to stop me from speaking. She smiled warmly when she saw me approaching. We stood in silence for a few moments, watching gentle waves ripple across the lake. I could barely draw a breath. My hands shook so badly that I shoved them into my pockets. For years, I had imagined this conversation ending in heartbreak. I expected awkward silence or polite rejection, or maybe even the end of our friendship. Still, I knew that regret would sting more than rejection ever could. Taking the deepest breath of my life, I finally let out everything I had buried for so long. I told her that somewhere between our coffee talks and volunteer work and countless sunsets shared, She had quietly become the most important person in my life. I confessed that every goodbye had grown harder because I wished every meeting could last forever. I admitted that I had loved her for years, but had been terrified of losing her. She stared at me without speaking. For one agonizing moment, I thought I had just made the worst mistake of my life. Then I saw tears beginning to fill her eyes. A small smile crossed her face, and she asked the question that turned everything upside down. Why did you wait so long to tell me? The world seemed to freeze in place. She confessed that she had been waiting almost as long as I had. She believed I only saw her as a close friend because I had never crossed that invisible line. She had nearly admitted her own feelings several times, but held back out of fear that it would make things uncomfortable between us. Eventually convinced that I would never feel the same, she accepted the job, hoping that distance would help her move forward. Years of silence had nearly stolen the happiness that both of us wanted. We could not stop laughing through our tears as we realized how fear had kept two hearts apart that had loved each other all along. The answer we had both been searching for had been right there between us for years, hidden beneath hesitation and doubt. Life did not suddenly become perfect after that afternoon. Long-distance relationships demanded sacrifice and patience, and countless late-night phone calls. There were lonely weekends and missed celebrations and hard months filled with uncertainty. But this time, we faced every challenge together instead of apart. Distance no longer separated us emotionally because honesty had finally replaced fear. Almost a year later, Mara returned home permanently when an even better opportunity came up nearby. This time, when she stepped off the train beneath another bright afternoon sky, I was not afraid anymore. I ran to her, wrapped my arms around the woman I nearly lost because of silence, and understood that courage does not always remove fear. It simply teaches you that love is worth confronting it. Maybe someone watching this story today is holding feelings they have hidden for months or even years. Maybe you are waiting for the perfect moment that never seems to arrive. The truth is, perfect moments rarely exist. Sometimes the greatest risk is saying nothing at all. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who could use a little courage today, leave a comment telling us where you are watching from, and subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories filled with hope and second chances. I have one special request before this story ends. Please comment with these words: never wait too long. Your words might encourage someone else to finally speak from their heart. As we walked hand in hand beside that same lake where everything changed, I realized that love is not always about finding the right person. Sometimes it is about finding the courage to finally tell that person how you truly feel before time quietly slips away. And on that warm afternoon, beneath a sky painted with hope, two people discovered that the happiest endings often begin with the words they were most afraid to say.